difference between Creole and Cajun? You'll see when you try this easy to make hearty bisque that is a real meal in itself. Welcome to Lawyer in the Kitchen. Today we're gonna make a fantastic Cajun dish. Cajun corn and crab bisque. Super hearty, super rich. All these ingredients, and I actually have all of them here. Let's talk about them. We're gonna make a roux with 3 tablespoons of butter, unsalted, and 3 tablespoons of flour. We're gonna cook that about 5-6 minutes, get the taste down, get it nice and golden. And then we're gonna start with the vegetables, the celery, which we have about 1 stick, 1 celery stalk, about 2 cups of onion, and they're all chopped up. Then we've got about a tablespoon, a little bit more than that, of garlic, or about 6 cloves. We have a pound of crab, lump crab. This is super good. And for seasonings, we're going to use about a 1/2 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning and a 1/2 teaspoon of liquid Zatarain's crab boil, which is very flavorful. About a 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire, 2 cups of heavy whipping cream or 1 pint, 1 pint of milk. I'm going to use a cup of clam juice and a cup of chicken broth. We've got a 1.5 cups of corn, and we've got some green onions and that's about 1/2 cup of green onions and 2 bay leaves. These are fresh right out of our garden, and I think I've covered everything. All I know is this better be good because this is what we're having for dinner tonight. So when I said this makes a meal, I'm pretty sure it's going to be that good. Anyhow, the first thing we're going to do is make the roux, and we are going to use 2 different pots. We're going to make the roux in 1 pot or 1 pan first, and then we're going to put that aside, and we're going to cook this whole thing, the rest of it, in a Dutch oven, and then we'll incorporate the roux as we get cooking. So I'm going to put the butter in first. This is 3 tablespoons. And we're going to cook this about 5 to 7 minutes after I get it all mixed up. But we want this to fully melt first. So that's not going to take very long. All right, so our butter is just about melted. And I'm going to turn this down. I don't want this too hot. We just want a little bit. Now, we're going to put a little bit of this in at a time. And start mixing it up. And that is still too warm. We want this nice and low. Just take our time with this. We want this to get to a nice golden color. This is not like a gumbo roux, which we would cook for 30-40 minutes. This is just going to get golden. Of course, part of it is we're going to get this a little bit brown, a little golden, nicely mixed without lumps. 5 to 7 minutes on this. It'll start getting a little more golden as we go. This is a nice golden color right there. That's golden brown. Again, it's not a jambalaya. It's not a roux that we'd use for gumbo. That would take 30-40 minutes. This slow to get to it. But that's nice right there. This is done. We're just going to set this aside, and now we're going to start the bisque. All right, so I've got a Dutch oven here, and I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Get this warmed up, and then we're going to put in our celery and onions. I'm not adding salt. I'm going to wait a little bit while on that just to see. You want to taste it first. We'll add salt to taste, but it's going to probably be about a 1/2 to a full teaspoon of salt. All right, we're going to put these 3 ingredients, the onions, the celery, and the garlic, putting the garlic in at the very end before I add the liquid. I don't want to overcook that garlic. So here comes the celery and the onions. I'll tell you what, I know it's going to take some salt, so I'm going to put in just a little bit of salt. I changed my mind. It's just hard to cook anything without putting a little bit of salt in it. And I'll tell you what, I am going to go ahead and add just a little bit of pepper right now. Got to do it. Just got to do it. Here comes about a tablespoon of garlic. And we're not going to let that cook very long, just till it's fragrant, and that's no more than 30 seconds. 1/2 teaspoon, a little more than 1/2 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. I'm using emeralds, which I love. Should I say bam? Because it seems like you should say bam. Okay, so bam. No, that's okay. Yeah, so we're trying. All right. Now it's time to put some liquid in here. 1 cup of chicken broth. 1 cup of clam sauce. Make sure you shake that bottle, get all that stuff off the bottom. And we'll put the corn in, because it wouldn't be corn and crab chowder / corn and crab bisque without the corn. And we're going to cook this down a little bit. Now I'm putting in the 2 bay leaves. These are fresh bay leaves right off the tree. By the way, they're not that hard to grow. Ours is doing fantastic. I mean, it's looking like a bush. All right, so we've done that. Now we're going to put in the cream and the milk. Again, 2 cups or 1 pint of heavy cream, and 2 cups or 1 pint of whole milk. And you can buy those just like that, which is convenient because we don't drink very much milk. Zatarain's shrimp and crab oil, we're going to put in about a ½ teaspoon. And that's about that. Quickly got that right. Okay. And then that's going in the fridge. And we're going to let this, now we're going to cook this for about 7-8 minutes. Let it simmer. We'll bring it up just to a simmer. Go about 7-8 minutes, and then we're going to put the rest of our ingredients in there. All right, so this is it. If you come look at this, this is a nice little simmer that we want about 7-8 minutes on before we put the roux in next. And then the last thing will be to put the crab and the green onions and the Worcestershire and cut up our wine ledges. We'll cut up our wine ledges. This is going to be very flavorful. And look at those bay leaves floating in there. They're going to be great. You know, some people think bay leaves don't do much, and that's crazy to me because they absolutely do. Like if you cook black beans and you don't have bay leaves in them, then you aren't religious about food. Creole and Cajun are really not quite the same. Creole comes from New Orleans, and Cajun is said to have come about 40 years after that. Creole is New Orleans, and Cajun is all of Louisiana. Cajun comes from the French Les Acadiens. Eventually, the A was dropped to L'Acadiens, which is rumored to have been difficult to pronounce, and I probably did not pronounce it correctly. So the word Cajun was born. But Creole and Cajun also differ in ingredients. Specifically, Creole typically has tomatoes or tomato sauces, while Cajun does not. We're going with Cajun, so no tomatoes. So we've simmered this 7-8 minutes, and now we're going to put our roux in there and cook for about another 6-7 minutes. And we want to stir frequently after we put the roux in. You want to get that nice and mixed. Look at that velvety golden brown. I'm going to get that stirred up. And this is, of course, what's going to thicken it and add the butter flavor to it. All right, so we want to stir during this next 6, 7, 8 minutes, and it should start thickening. And I've got a pot grabber here. Thank you, ma'am. It's time to eat. I'm getting hungry. We don't usually cook right before we're going to have dinner or something like that, but we are doing it this time. And this better be good because this is supper.
This is it.
Am I wrong? No, I'm not. All right, so we're going to stir this frequently. It's already getting thicker. The roux is doing its job. Look at that. Now, if I had something besides a slotted spoon, you'd see it, but you can still see it. It's dripping kind of freely right now, but we're going to cook it down some more, and it will thicken more. All right, we've got this thing. Look at this. This is nice. This is simmering. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this.
Ooh, that's gotten nice and thick.
It has gotten perfect is what it's gotten. All right, so we're getting ready to put the crab in. Look at these. We don't want to, now we don't want to stir this too much because we're going to wreck these big. No, we're taking out the bay leaves in a few minutes. We're going to cook this for about another 6 or 7 minutes. So now come look at this. Let's pour this in here. We do on it, and the juice and everything. Ah, look at that. That is some fine looking crab right there. All right, and we don't want to boil too fast. We certainly don't want to burn it at this point. So I'm going to turn it down. We're going to add a little bit of, what is it, a half teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. That's about that. Our green onions. We save the rest for putting on top. And we're going to cook this about another 6, 7, 8 minutes. Just get the crab nice and warm. Then we'll pull out the bay leaves. All right, so we've cooked this about 6, 7 minutes, and I'm going to taste it and see if we need to add anything, essentially salt or pepper. Just a tad of salt. And that will bring this up to about a little more than a half teaspoon altogether. I don't think it needs pepper. I think it has enough. And I'm gonna get a new spoon and taste this one more time. You know what? That was it. Just a little bit of salt. All right, so now we're gonna remove our bay leaves. There's one. That's not a bay leaf. Where'd my other bay leaf go? All right, we're in search of one more bay leaf. Not like you can't pull it out of your bowl. I see it. Look at that. Here we go. All right, we are done. We're ready to plate and we're ready to taste. Now it's time to taste this. This is gonna be good. Everything's done. I gotta look at the size of this piece of crab right there. It's steaming hot. Let's try this. Oh, it's hot. But it is so good. It's creamy. None of the spices overpower the taste of the crab. The corn's a nice addition. The green onions are great. Super creamy. I'm gonna try a little bit of the lime on it. I'll try another bite. Look at the size of this crab on there. I like it better with the lime. Come try this. Isn't that good? That's good.
That is really
the
good.
crab is not overshadowed by any flavor in there, but there's a little heat. You feel it in
No.
the back of your throat at the end?
Yeah, but the crab is also not overpowering.
No. Nope.
It's all very good.
If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe. That actually helps my channel. And if you would comment, that would be fantastic. And if you have a different recipe than this, and I've looked at a ton of recipes on this, but I'm interested in seeing, because not everybody, I didn't find anybody that added the clam juice. That was a little different. I thought it added a little more seafood touch to it.
It does.
And I think that's a good touch, but it's not overpowering. It's tasty. And I'll see you next time on
While you're in the kitchen.